thank you for tuning in. If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. We love hearing your thoughts and ideas on how to live better, more purposeful lives. Now, imagine this: the solution to procrastination, that lingering habit that keeps us from fulfilling our true potential, isn't some fancy app or complex productivity hack, but something much simpler, already within you, waiting to be tapped into. It's a mindset, one that's been around for thousands of years, rooted in Stoic philosophy, a way of thinking that has helped countless people through the ages live with clarity, purpose, and resilience. Stoicism offers a way to confront and overcome procrastination by transforming how we view our responsibilities and our relationship to time. At its core, procrastination often stems from our tendency to delay what feels challenging, overwhelming, or uncomfortable. But what if you approached these tasks with the understanding that only your actions, not the outcome, are within your control? What if you saw the process of completing a difficult task not as a daunting challenge but as an opportunity to practice patience, discipline, and virtue? The Stoic teachings of philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius emphasize the importance of focusing on what we can control: our thoughts, choices, and actions. They remind us that no matter how overwhelming a task may seem, the smallest step towards it is still progress and within our power. The temptation to delay often arises when we become consumed with worries about outcomes or the magnitude of what lies ahead. We allow fear of failure, fear of imperfection, to paralyze us. Yet, the Stoics teach that these fears are nothing more than illusions, mental obstacles we create ourselves. Seneca, a great Stoic philosopher, spoke about the power of breaking down problems into smaller parts. This method encourages us to take the overwhelming and make it manageable. What if, instead of being consumed by the idea of writing an entire report, you simply started with a single sentence, an outline, or a brief brainstorm? It's the accumulation of these small, deliberate actions that bring success, not waiting for motivation to strike. The Stoics understood that motivation doesn't always precede action; in fact, it often follows. Once we start moving, even in the smallest ways, momentum builds and the fear begins to dissolve. Often, we procrastinate because we are afraid of what might happen if things don't go perfectly. The Stoic practice of negative visualization teaches us to confront these fears head-on by imagining the worst-case scenario. Picture the task you've been avoiding and imagine that it doesn't go well. Perhaps you make a mistake or receive criticism. Then ask yourself, could you handle it? Most of the time, the answer is yes. By envisioning potential setbacks, we prepare ourselves emotionally, and suddenly, the fear of failure loses its grip. In life, we waste so much time being afraid of things that are outside our control. Instead, we can choose to focus on our responses and on taking meaningful action regardless of the outcome. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In a world filled with distractions and endless demands on our time, Stoicism offers a simple yet profound approach: live in accordance with your values, stay present, and take control of your mind, not the uncontrollable circumstances around you. One of the most persistent myths around procrastination is that it's a sign of laziness. But the Stoics teach us that procrastination is often a form of emotional avoidance. We avoid tasks not because we're lazy, but because we fear them, or we feel overwhelmed. In other words, procrastination is less about a lack of motivation and more about how we perceive the task at hand. The Stoic mindset invites us to shift this perspective. Rather than seeing the task as something to dread, we can view it as a chance to practice self-discipline and courage. By doing this, we transform procrastination from a force that holds us back into a catalyst for growth. Stoicism also challenges the modern obsession with busyness. True productivity isn't about how many things you can check off your to-do list, it's about aligning your actions with your values and focusing on what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius said it best: you must build up your life action by action. Meaningful work, the work that propels us forward, doesn't happen in a frenzy of multitasking. It happens when we direct our full attention and effort to one thing at a time. The wisdom of Stoicism also reminds us that perfectionism can be our worst enemy. We delay starting or finishing projects because we believe they have to be flawless. But as Epictetus wisely pointed out, striving for progress is more important than demanding perfection. The pursuit of excellence is virtuous, but perfection is an illusion. No human endeavor will ever be perfect. When we allow this truth to sink in, we free ourselves from the paralysis of perfectionism and can begin to act, improve, and grow. Procrastination isn't about time management, it's about emotion management. The Stoics understood that our emotions shape our actions, but they also taught that we have the power to control those emotions by changing the way we think. When we procrastinate, it's because we've allowed negative emotions, anxiety, fear, self-doubt, to take the lead. But with mindful practice, we can shift our focus back to what we can control: our mindset, our effort, and our commitment to taking action. Take a moment to reflect. What task have you been avoiding? How might Stoic principles help you move forward? Could you break the task into smaller steps? Could you imagine the worst-case scenario and realize that even if it doesn't go perfectly, you will still be okay? Stoicism isn't just about contemplation, it's about action. It's about living intentionally and making choices that are aligned with our deepest values. So, I challenge you to take one small step today. Choose one thing you've been procrastinating on, and take a single action towards it. Whether it's as simple as writing the first sentence of that report or making the first phone call for that business idea, just start. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. So go ahead, act with purpose, and embrace the Stoic wisdom that can guide you toward greater productivity, fulfillment, and peace of mind. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Let's keep this conversation going.